Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. I wish I would not do that. I see it, but I don't see it. I have to wait for Boogie to get in here to see. To see. I did fill in the eyebrows this morning. You're not supposed to do it that many times, but I get such a refreshing feeling from that. Oh, shatter me timbers. Today I use the color lipstick I should be using in the wintertime, and that is the chocolate. It's called chocolate, or some shit. Did I put the shit back already? I have bad habits because that's my premise. No, this one is subtly you. I know it because of the color. I love these. These are the lipstick that has a little bit more um, gloss to it. Um, like the Nourishines. The Nourishines are thin, they're thick petroleum type base. I'm gonna fucking shit up. It's okay. That's just how shit be. Hi, DU recorder, whoever's DU recording me. I don't know why I would need someone to come in here to DU record me. I'm really not that famous. I'm not that. I'm not that anything. And then the one person that just watches. Hi, hi. I miss you. No. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh no, I did put it away. I know I put it away. Oh Lord, they need to do something about this. This is the chocolate one, and that's the one I put on. I love it. I love it, and I love the way these open. These you have to push down for it to open. So it's secure in your bag. You don't have to worry about the top coming off. And that's the chocolate. Anyway, anywho, I'll be rocking this one for a minute for the rest because it's like a natural color. Or I'll be wearing this subtly you. I love this subtly you because it's like really clear. So you got like a lipstick, but then you have like a thing. I did put a little mascara on today, but I don't think I gotta figure out which one is which because Long Lash was the other one, and um, lengthening lash. But this one's almost dead. But I think I know what I did. I think I went from that one to the other one. Yeah. So this one's is the lash love lengthening. This one right here I can't wear. This one's too this lash intensity I can't do the intensity. What is this thing right here? Um, this is this was the fixed tint and shaper. I think I didn't like this when I used it that time. Oh yeah, I didn't like this shit. But this is not Mary Kay anyway. Not. have a little bias going on. So hmm, that's about it. Um, I ain't got much. I ain't got much on my plate today. I'm not going to work today though. Oh, but that does remind me. I need to see if I can log on to the system. I just had an argument with 6 years, so I'm definitely not going into work because he was like, "You should go into work," and I was like, "I'm not going into work today. Let me be me." Um, I'm having this thing about loyalty, and I don't like when people are disloyal. Shout out to Sam Francis wherever she's at, and to Alethea wherever she's at. Yeah, this is subtly you. I think these two are the same one. I like when they have the color on the top of the thing. This is the berry one that you guys love. A lippy, when your lippy is done, it's really good. Oh, I know what I gotta do with you motherfuckers. Cause y'all be getting on my damn nerves and some days y'all get on my nerves. What is this thing called? It's called YouTube. It's called. I need to figure out all creators are obligated to take action. All right. I don't know why that thing is still up there. Oh, I love the thumbnail from yesterday. That is the picture that I put inside my that's a new artwork for the bathroom. And I did come across that quote after the live. Yo, every day lately, that every time I've done a live, after the live, I'll come across a quote that just matches what the live was about. And I know what I'll do this morning. I'll tell you about the new book. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Alice Walker. Um, Interesting person to have stated that, but on point messaging for yesterday's conversation, wherein we I was speaking on election, understanding your value, and participating in some capacity to make sure voices are heard, and my endorsement of the census. And I'll come back because I reached out to find out more information about the census. I missed something that was going on at work last week in the midst of all of this stuff, and I forgot about it. They were having some kind of election. Hey, Joanna, they were having some kind of election conversation that ended at the end of Black History Month, and they were talking about the power to vote. And I missed the whole shit, and it was a whole day event, and I don't know how I missed it. So it must have been just because I was out one day during the weekend. When I came back, I had so many things to put together, and then I was trying to put together this week. Like I did all everything that was needed for this week. I did, and I hate when I do super shit because then people will be like, oh, well, you don't need that much time to work on these other things if you were able to do it. But some days people leave me alone and I get a little bit more accomplished than others. Anyway, today I want to just stay home and be me. I want me time, me time. And that's what I plan on doing. Okay. Oh, yes, it's on and popping right now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ain't nothing like a pair of Gucci's in my foreseeable future. I love my Gucci's. Oh, Yo, I need to look in the car because I think I left my reading Gucci's in the car. I might change these glasses out, the lens out, and get the transitioning ones. I don't know, but I do want to. I do. I don't know. I ain't lost these. I love these. They ain't going. They ain't breaking nothing. So I might just rock these. Okay. The book for March. I had a book in mind, and then come to find out, it don't hit the presses until April. I mean March 17th. I think. I don't know why I said April, so maybe it's April 17th. One of these freaking days, the book will come out, right? So that particular book that was on my mind will have to be capped. I am doing something totally different. You guys have beat the shit out of me. I am going to do the next two books are going to be an audiobook. Now, I pre-audio booked my book. So let me tell you which one is up and coming. And then if y'all want, I might do horoscopes. If y'all want to do horoscopes today, we could do horoscopes. And then I will give you the book that is going to be a continued conversation. Actually, I read the copyright on this book, and I think that we could get away with doing this without there being any bias or prejudice or any violation of copyright. I believe, but we'll see. We'll see how we do it. All right. All right. Hold on a second. I know what that one is. Where's the recent books? It's a pain in the nose. I got this app on my phone. It's a pain in the nose. Maybe it's in library. Hey, MATC. Um. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe I couldn't download it because it wasn't available. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute. But I am still gonna get the hard copy. Well, let me. I'm gonna leave this one. This one I'm announcing is gonna be strictly audio. Let me tell y'all what. Okay, the name of the book is "Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick." So it's by Zora Neale Hurston. Um, it's a collection of works, including 8 recently unearthed short stories. She's gotten forward by Tahari Jones. And you know, I met Tahari Jones. I went to one of her book signings. She is the author of An American Marriage. I'm waiting for her next book to drop. That's Taraji Jones. Tahari Jones. I loved her. Actually, you can go on my tab that has the books in it, the book club tab playlist, and you will see the the interview that she gave or whatever fuck it was, the book signing. Um the book signing event and her speech when I caught it because I was a little tardy to the party. But when I walked in on it, I was able to record it. It's all there, and I was super excited. That is one of like the moments between the Walk Through Harlem and the Tahari Jones book thing is a beautiful thing here at Mono. Mo. Anyway, and I did. She signed my book, so my book is signed, and it's okay. Um, Among the selections are a beautifully narrated tale of a woman who steps into dangerous path to be with her lover, and the melancholy story of a young man who sells candy in Harlem. Can't wait to read the short stories. That might also be good for some of us here to get into a book that's broken up into many little pieces. Um, so that book though does not come out until it's not available yet. So I pre-ordered it on audiobooks. Now it could be in hard print, and it's just no, because I didn't see it on. I went to the Nook and I went to go purchase it. Did I go purchase it? What did I call it? A stick, a lick? What the fuck? Hold on. Something about a lick. Hot funky mess. Hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick. Hold on a second. Hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick. Okay, let me just see. The only reason why I did the audiobook is because I did a free audiobook for something else. I think because Evolve told me that the other book, The Four Agreements, audio was terrible. Like she couldn't follow along with it. It wasn't that exciting. It didn't keep her engaged. So since I read the book, I went to go listen to the audio to see how this shit works. Cause I'm really not a fan of audio books. Um, but I understand about time. Okay. Now I need this thing to back up over here. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, I didn't even look it up. Hitting a lick with a crooked stick. Let's see if it finds the book. Oh, you can buy the book. So it's not ready on audio yet until thing. So ooh, this is interesting. Okay. So I will go into Barnes and Nobles today. Is there a Barnes and Nobles in Jamaica? Oh my God, they took away my Barnes and Nobles. I just remembered where it was at. I will go in the college area. They always have a Barnes and Nobles by John Jay. They have a Barnes and Nobles. So I'll go over there today. Bum 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 bum. Oh, that's so interesting. All right, let me go to the book that I'm currently going to listen to, but I'm about to go get the book. I'm going to try my best to do the audio listening to it. But it coincides with the conversation that we had yesterday. And in true reveal fashion, I'm going to read to you. What? It's going to read to you the pages from Good Morning, the free pages. So there's no copyright there because it's in free domain. Okay, so that book, the name of that book is Conversations in Black. So just so that you know, there are two books this month. One is a read along, and that's what we're going to work on doing. And I'm going to try to see if I get the OBS thing up and popping so that we could do it. I don't want to pay for streaming. I keep telling you folks this. I don't want to pay for streaming. Oh, Mo looking like a hit woman this morning. Y'all don't even know. Wait a second. Let's do this shit up right. Seriously? No, I'm not looking like no damn hit woman this morning. I'm looking like a widower. It's a widower. Let me see something. You know, I gotta be like making sure my shit is tight. I love hoodies, but I love cute hoodies. I love hoodies. I guess I don't know. I guess that must be my Muslim in me. My Muslim. Oh God, don't let Gab come up in here interrupting shit because you know he'll come up in here and be like, "Oh, what did you say?" Oh, we ain't got no Boogie this morning. He must be on Pamper Detail. He must be doing feedings. Anywho, so Conversations in Black is politically motivated. It follows the conversation that I had with you yesterday. So this is in continuity. And since I got 3 audiobook, yes, girl, stop. You know, I have to act like, thing. I don't know. I don't know why I put on the sunglasses, to be honest. I forgot why I did that. All right. Anyway, maybe it was glary up in here. Anywho, so here we go. And the book is written by now I'm gonna tell you right now. It's a collection of conversations with leaders, people, well, black. Uh, now I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Oh, and I got the wrong people in the room. There are some of the people that are in here we are not going to like. Yes, we are throwing shade today. We're talking about Conversations in Black. Um, that's the book of the month. That's the read along book that we're gonna do here on the channel. And then we have the other book, some shit with straight. What the fuck did I call the name? I should have wrote it down. Uh, Hitting a lick with a crooked stick is the other book. It comes on audio the March 17th. So I ordered it as an audio so I can listen to it on my way to work and join you folks that don't want to read books but prefer to listen. I wanted to see how that was going to turn out. But knowing me, I'm going to go purchase the book because I like to write on shit and annotate shit and look at shit and see how they worded shit. Sometimes words, I love to see how they're spelled because sometimes we be saying shit as people of color and that's not how the shit is spelled and that's not how you sound it out, and we just be making up our own words. It's okay, ebonics is acceptable, but at some point in time you need to really see how the shit is written. So I like to do that. This book right here, Conversations in Black, uh, Let me first give you, I don't want to go back to that. I guess I have to. Ay, Dios mío, carajo, maricona. All right. Shout out to LMNOP. He sent me a text message this morning or a Google Hangout message. And when I saw the Google Hangouts, I know exactly who it was because I don't got no friends on Google Hangouts except for LMNOP. So shout out to LMNOP. Y'all say hi to LMNOP somewhere. Um, we miss you, LMNOP. We're still waiting for you to come back with your new improved uh platform in your different domain. You are truly missed though, because I ain't got no place to really go. I gotta hang out in Motown. It's lonely sometimes in Motown. Only when, yes, that's one book, right? It comes out on audio in the middle of this month. The other book is whatever the hell the other book is. Hold on. Y'all know I can't focus. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I really can't focus today. So your patience is greatly appreciated because I got other crazy shit going on in my mind. And this I'm doing this right now as a distraction. So just be distracted with me. Understood. Thank you in advance for your services. They're appreciated. So um Zora Neale Kirsten is is the author of Hitting a Straight Leg with a Crooked Stick. And this is going to be a compilation of stories. It says it's a collection of works including 8 recently unearthed short stories. So we're going to read that. Moving on, the other book that I am listening to, but I am going to purchase it well because I need to write in it. Well, God darn it. I want to read that one too. The Last Negroes in Harvard. Okay. Here's this one, and here's the description of this one. And this is the one that continues the conversation that we had yesterday. Veteran journalist Ed Gordon gathered some. You know, I don't do fucking Amazon. She's like, it's on Amazon. How much is it on Amazon? No advertising in the chat. How much is it on Amazon though? This one. My favorite store, Amazon. My favorite store. My second favorite store. Yeah, what's my first favorite store? I'll wait. I know you guys gotta know me so well. What's my first favorite store? I freaking almost go there just to have like aha moment. All right, $15 is good because that book was coming up as $26.99 at thing. My favorite store is IKEA, and then my second favorite store. I took y'all to the only I have never taken y'all to IKEA. Only when I met Glib Talk did I go to my favorite store. I met Glib Talk at my favorite store because I thought it was the appropriate thing. So I thought it was just like the best place for Mo to be at. Well, they probably. I know I have Prime. Don't ask me if I tell y'all why I have Prime. Y'all gonna be so mad at me. I wanted this whiteout. Yes, it's a whiteout. Like, remember whiteout? So there's this thing by Tombow that whites out, and it's an amazing whiteout, right? So I wanted it, and I could only get it from Amazon and this and that. But now, because of this coronavirus, I can't order the refills. I ordered the refills a couple of months ago, and I got refills about like sometime in January, and I used the refills, but um, I used one refill, and the other refill. Then I went to fucking Lysoling down the damn refill thing and everything, cause I'm like, I know y'all saying that the disease doesn't stay or whatever. So I just had a funny kind of feeling. So I put that one in its own little container. I got it in a Ziploc bag somewhere over to the side. Cause I was like, this shit could be contaminated. And I don't want to be contaminated. We'll talk about the infestation here in New York. This is why I'm not really taking the train today either. I gotta adjust to some shit. Okay. Anywho, I have Amazon Prime so that I can order the damn shit. Isn't that just crazy? So anyway, anywho, I ordered my new thing. It should be here. I think tomorrow. I think it said yeah. It delivers so quick. It's a damn shame. But that freaking Prime is like $14 a month. And it don't let you share. Like you already had to have addresses on your account and shit. I tried to split the cost with somebody else, but whatever. Anyway, this book allegedly is for intellectuals or giving you an intellectual insight into the Black planet. Here on the YouTube, we are hearing many conversations that say we need to move the Black agenda forward. What is the Black agenda? These people are discussing their thoughts on the Black agenda. I am not going to say that I support their thoughts because I haven't heard their thoughts. Some of these people, I don't really care to hear their thoughts, but this man, Ed Gordon, thought it was necessary to speak to them and thought that they were of influence, and he refers to them as influencers. He thought that their Black influence would be a good starting point for conversations. And he says so. And he encourages us to take those conversations a step further. And he says that in this book, it is written in such a way to begin conversations. So, what? The lady that built her channel on having conversations around books now has a book that's constructed with the notion that we can have questions at the end of each chapter so that we can have conversations. Hell yeah, we're going to read this book and we're going to see how that works. Mine is $5. I can share and make you a buyer in my business account. Okay, I'm quiet now. What is $5? What you got for $5? What you got for $5? What they gave you for $5? I don't want no used book. Girl, we got people dying over diseases. I don't want no used book. Anyway, the veteran journalist Ed Gordon gathered some of the most thoughtful voices in Black America to talk about progress, the Black economy, the Black Girl Magic movement. Now, I am not in favor of this Black Girl Magic movement, right? But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I haven't really heard what its intentions were and what it actually focused on. I did have some smarty pants come inside here. I'm thinking about who it might be and said, "Did you see my video on the Black Girl Magic stuff?" And I said, "No, sir, I did not." And I'm going to say it in that whiny ass voice because sometimes the men here that approach you on the YouTube sound a little bit finicky, frisky, because they take shit so personal. So I can't help but make fun of y'all feminist ass ways. You understand? And if that is fucking with your masculinity and demasculizing you, stop behaving like that and I won't have to do it. But there have been people that have come up in my chat and have whined a little something. Whined about the Black Girl Magic movement that I said I don't really know anything about it. So if you want me to discuss something, I really need to dig into it deeper, and then I can formulate an opinion. So I really don't have any. It's not jumping at me, a grown ass woman, to be running around here talking about I got some black girl magic. See, grown ass woman talking about being a girl. I'm just saying. Anywho, so they talk about progress, the black economy, the black girl magic movement, and the 2020 presidential election in Conversations in Black, and that's the name of the book, on power, politics, and leadership. Gordon lets readers sit it in on important discussions with black thinkers shaping our world. I think this is very interesting because most of the time these people of influence, right? It's because this shit just killed me, including, he goes on to say, activist Al Sharpton. Really, are we really listening to Al Sharpton? We'll see. Um, and Essence Ventures CEO, whoever Dennis. I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'm not gonna butcher it up on here. Anywho, I think it is of interest to us to hear what these people are saying and then formulate our own opinions towards their discussion, for, against, or whatever. Anywho, that's where we are at. Um, and now I'm going to take you through the book, Conversations in Black. So please pull up your cup of coffee, get your tea. This is the time to listen to me. Now, we could do it with me here, or I can pull up my avatar if you would like. At any point in time, if I find myself struggling, I will just pull up the avatar. So it looks like the book has about 13 chapters. And one of the chapters, just so that y'all know, is Mo Money, Mo Problems. I just thought that was so cute. Mo Money, Mo Problems, Mo shit. You got Mo shit going on. Okay, Mo as in Mo knows this, Mo knows that. Y'all get the correlation. I know. Don't be making fun of my humor. I'm only gorgeous in the morning. Okay, so he starts off with two black folks who, for generations, have fought and beat the odds at every turn. Don't you know somebody like that? Anyway, to all the great people who gave me their time to participate in this conversation, thank you for your dedication to our community. Loving the pronouns here, loving it, our community. The introduction, if you don't mind. When I first started this project in 2017, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin had just been senselessly killed by a neighborhood watchman nearly twice his age. Though Michael Brown, Laquan McDonald, and Sandra Bland were still alive, they too would soon become synonymous with injustice. Bill Cosby was stirring up controversy in the black community for chastising African American parents and educators. But even so, he was still America's beloved TV dad. Maya Angelou was alive and dispensing sage wisdom as only she could. Barack Obama was finishing up his first term in the White House. The only black people Donald Trump was publicly antagonizing were the African American contestants on The Apprentice. We were still jamming to R. Kelly's Ignition remix, despite whispers of involvement with underage girls. Maxine Waters was an outspoken congresswoman, excuse me, but she hadn't quite reached auntie status yet. Oh, how times have changed. From local activism and social justice to national leadership and politics. Conversations, good and bad, are bubbling up all across Black America. And with passionate pundits, vocal social media influencers, and empowered activists, no one is short on opinions. All in all, we as a community are expressing our sentiments more than ever before. As a career journalist, I have conducted award winning and personally rewarding interviews with countless leaders and celebrities, iconic figures who are leading our culture, setting trends, raising visibility, and blazing new trails. Though many of these televised interviews have garnered significant attention, I've often been most intrigued by the conversations that transpired just after the camera's red lights were turned off. I've always wished that others might be privy to what is said behind closed doors. I started thinking about how powerful and transcendent it would be if a number of these voices were in the same room at the same time. So I decided to put together a series of virtual conversations between Black influencers in the hope of moving our community forward. With the glow of Barack Obama's victory still shining over much of Black America, in some respects, the change was coming, just as Sam Cooke had promised. A man of color was in the White House with the first family that was the ideal American family. In the years between then and now, much has changed and not all for the better. Though through it all, our discussions, questions, and concerns have ranged from the subliminal to the ridiculous to the inspiring. So we went from the subliminal to the ridiculous to the inspiring. Amazing, right? We talked about the record number of candidates of color who entered political races on local, state, and federal levels. ABC's new series Scandal, remember that? In which fictional Black superwoman Olivia Pope cleaned up colossal messes and saved the nation time and time again. The Night Moonlight first didn't win, and then seconds later won the Oscar for Best Picture. Kanye's ridiculous statement that slavery was a choice, and even how good Black Panther was. So he gives you examples of how we've changed and how we've been evolving. Um, we talked about all kinds of things, yet more frequently and rightfully so, the discussions drifted toward areas where people of color saw little or no change. We expressed concern about backsliding, or as I call it, black sliding. Loving it, love the usage of words. As many of the measures of civil rights progress and equality began to decline, we talked ad nauseum about the continued lack of higher education and job opportunities for Blacks, the growing wealth disparity between Blacks and whites, the danger of simply being born Black that makes the mundane, from driving to shopping, dangerous, even deadly. Our conversations reveal that in many cases, the playing field for most African Americans has not changed. If you do not refer to yourself as an African American, I understand and agree with you. This is his words, his book, his thoughts. Something we can all discuss at a later time. Today, amid a drastically changed political and social landscape, this book resurrects the best strategic moves, new narratives, and next steps the Black community needs to adapt to move the needle back toward progress. This book is intended to be a discussion starter, and I hope you will form your own groups to extend the conversation about the ideas and thoughts expressed here. Have these conversations in your home, dorm room, club meeting, barbershop, hair salon, church, workplace, and anywhere else you gather. This channel is a place where we gather. So we are going to have those conversations here in this forum. Mo's Court. No, let's stop. Um, each chapter ends with questions to help you jumpstart these discussions, and the goal is to prompt action. So it's not just to do lip service, it's to initiate some action. And I hope to be successful at doing that here too, or at least being the gateway for that to begin. Conversations in Black, which is the name of the book, should be used as a catalyst for furthering positive change in our communities, a tool to enable us to speak with a more collective voice and to find our way forward. Okay, it's a damn shame that somebody has to write a book to get us, or let's see if this accomplished that in a conversation talking mode. But I believe that we've been doing that all along. Maybe this will help structure some of the conversations by giving us some baseline to what some people are saying, and then really focus on what we actually see in application of what they're saying. Do I look like a white host? I'm just saying. I don't have too many clear people hanging around me, girl. Bye. I'm not. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we go. I just with the united voice, we can develop new approaches to dismantle. Woo, loving the word. We can use with the united voice. We can develop new approaches to dismantle the systemic stumbling blocks to equality, and in some cases outright racism that hinder our progress. Mm. No monolithic thought can be or should be reached by all African Americans on any subject. Our beliefs on how best to achieve the goal of equality are shaped by, among other things, our experiences, background, education, and social status. However, we can and should work toward building consensus. That's an interesting concept. Good morning, I'm Darian. Good morning, Sisterella's World. Good morning, Diane Spicy. Listen to what, and you know what? I keep forgetting that in democracy, right? They don't argue or they don't come to conclusions that are I'm right, you're wrong. They come to conclusions, or they come to decisions based on a consensus process. And the consensus process is I'm willing to live with it. It may not be the ideal solution, but it's something that you're willing to live with. And that's what consensus building is about, opposed to uh, everybody is on this page for this and everybody's on this page or against this page for that. Consensus building is something that, unfortunately, the concept has to be taught. And it has to be it is not very easy to come to consensus on things, because we're used to, even in our elections, we're used to voting a majority wins. Consensus is a different approach. Is it's not that the majority wins, is that we're willing to live with, and that's the whole concept. What are you willing to live with? Hmm, it is what it is. So where am I at? More constructive debates within our community. As well, he probably hasn't been on this YouTube, man, and he ain't been in the black sector, because these people do nothing but debate. They debate, come back again, debate some more, and then regurgitate and debate again. But they never come with solutions. So I'm hoping that we start to develop solutions as we hear the debates. Or y'all could just recap those debates, and then let's see if there's some viable solutions. Whenever I start talking about solutions, these people get scared, and it just be, yeah, these people, the ones that like to debate. Because debate, honestly, in the environment we in, debate is a thing that keeps the channels growing. Solutions, which are never developed out of those debates, would end some of the debates. Right? There'd be nothing to debate about if there was a viable solution that arose from the debate and people executed it and we started to implement, right? Then there'd be no more reason for that particular debate. But since it doesn't go beyond lip service, we get stuck with the continuous conversation, the non ending saga. Hopefully, we will start to see that, yes, we can debate until we're dead. Or we can start to try to implement some of the strategies or develop strategies around the debates that we could implement in the community as a whole. Mm. More constructive debates within our community and individual introspection are equally necessary, especially by those of us who have attained some measure of success. I don't really need the people personally, and maybe you might feel different. I don't really need the people that have attained some level of success telling me how to live, because they obtained that level of success on my back. See, sometimes these successful folk forget that if it had not been for our unwavering support in their successful endeavors, they wouldn't be who they are. So who the freak says that they should be um oh wow. You think debates lead to violence on YouTube? No. Oh, I'll have to leave that alone right now. I think at some point in time, the violence that we may be feeling is that people don't know how to express themselves in words. So they get hostile about it, and they have to be on the defensive with hands, right? You know, when they say that people lose a conversation because they go into using the filthy language, it's because they've lost command of that discussion. So we understand that that does occur, and we have to walk back some of the violence that we see developing out here. Most of the stuff that's going on is because, again, we get caught up in the sex of it, and we get caught up in the disrespect that we tend to go after one another based on our sexes and based on a need of being rejected. Some people can't handle rejection, and that's why you find them to be standoffish in the first place. And Um, are y'all having um are y'all having concerns that we have young folks here? The channel is rated adult. So in the YouTube spectrum of stuff, only adults should be in here because it's not for children. So we'll work on that. Let me get over to the other channel. Okay. Um So more constructive debates. I keep going back to that because it's like more constructive debates. So it's as if this person is acknowledging that we're having debates, but the debates are not constructive, right? They're not resulting in anything that's positive. So more constructive debates within our community and individual introspection are equally necessary, especially by those of us who have attained some measure of success. We must ask ourselves if we've done if we've done enough for those who haven't found more secure footing. Oh, stop. Now, I don't know about you. I have a problem with this. We must ask ourselves if we've done enough for those who haven't found more secure footing. Okay, this is going to go into, and he does say this later on about being my brother's keeper, right? That is a concept that is hard to live on in our day-to-day society, in our current day-to-day construct, because some of these mofos that haven't reached a certain level of understanding, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave them behind. You know, when Noah was up here building the ark, and I'm sorry for y'all that don't believe in certain things, but I just got to go back because there's some kind of Christianity around here. So I just got to remind them some biblical stories and tell them, just bring back some biblical stories that especially come out of the book of Genesis, right? Because that's the beginning of it all. And if you just spent a little time, you could see so much shit going on. There was loneliness, then man got a woman, and then he fucking lost his mind, and then she fucking took over, gave him some shit, and he fucking forgot about the rules and the shit that he was in charge of taking care of, ate the damn apple, and then sin entered the world, right? It, but he had desires, needs, wants, and she met them all that they were so much greater than God. Like, God darn, woman can be that much greater than God. You understand? The man who created you and her. That's some shit right there. Like, just talk about what people do. Right? Then you got this whole big promise with the rainbow. I'm not going to flood the world again. But specifically to what I'm talking about, leaving people behind, Noah was out there building this damn ark, putting in two of this and two of that because you need two or something. Now, this girl had me dying the other day. She was like, "You need a key and a lock." I almost fucking died. I never heard anybody describe um, relationships in that way, but they needed two of everything. So, in order to reproduce, you had to have the opposites of everything. So you had to have two of everything. So I'm assuming that two of everything was male and female, so they could hump, thump, and get it on and be able to reproduce and wouldn't be extinct. And that still remains in society today. What has happened to us is that when you stop having two of everything and you stop having that interconnection where you have the male and the female to reproduce and procreate and make more, and you get everybody one, or you get a society that is now into changing their sexes and losing the point of what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to prove your point. I don't know what point you want me to prove, but that's so. What am I proving your point about? When you have the mass change that we have in what it means to be man and what it means to be woman, as we are living in a society today, we are definitely interrupting, disturbing, and interfering with our survival. Um, we are basically making ourselves extinct. But Noah, back to his behind, when he was building the ark, he was building it in mind that anybody that wanted to come could. And then there were people that thought he was Looney Tune and they didn't want to get on there and they let him go ahead and continue. And then, when he closed that gate, when he closed up the ark, all I remember, and I didn't hear Noah's story when I was in Catholic school. I heard Noah's story intensely when I was a Jehovah Witness. And I always remember the moment, what I felt when I heard that he closed up the ship, got up on the ship, and the rain started to come. And all I could envision is the naysayers who were hanging on to the ship and trying to get in. Boom, 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 boom. Let us in. And it wasn't a ship, it was an ark. Who were trying to get into the ark and couldn't get on the damn ark. Because Noah's self-preservation now kicked in for Noah, where he was willing to bring people along all the way. He was giving them the word and saying, hey, you could join me and shit, and nobody wanted to do it. But when the rain started coming and they saw this big ass ark sitting there, they started banging on it, and Noah went into self-preservation mode. He was like, yo, no, 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 you can't get on here with us. That must have been painful for Noah to have to leave so many people behind, to have that. So shout out to Noah, because some of us might have opened the damn ark. Anyway, those were the people that were not on secure footing. And at sometimes I just feel that you're going to have to leave some folks behind. Noah did. I'm going to let that set in. Okay. And that's probably how I'm feeling about uh until maybe somebody I know that it personally impacts me. This is how I'm feeling about some of these conversations about surrounding the coronavirus and its impact and uh, uh, its goal to eliminate. When someone has made a promise, right? And promises are, we'll go into the definition of promises. Let me get the denotation of promises. Ooh. All right, I'm not doing that. Hold on a second. Let me just get promise defined. It's an insurance. that one will do a particular thing or that a particular thing will happen. The promises change is coming. I'm so confused with your proves my point. I get so mad when I'm so behind and don't understand what proves your point and what point you was trying to make. And I know to watch you, sir, because I've seen Wild Boy places, and Wild Boy is very pro some stuff. And I want to make sure I am not proving his point without knowledge that I'm on his point proving mission. We owe it to one another to live as our brother's keeper. I don't necessarily agree with that, but to some people, they do agree with it. I think, as I was just describing with Noah, there is a limit to being your brother's keeper because your brother could be hard headed as fuckazoid. And am I supposed to sacrifice myself for my brother? Mm. It's time we have a talk with folks who live with the misguided notion that somehow their superior nature alone brought them to the C suite or a suburban house or delivered 6 or 7 figure incomes, right? Oh boy. Anyway, so what does me saying fuck have to do with cussing like a sailor? I'm working on it. Close your ears. Do like this. Go, ooh, she just said bad word. Bad word moment. Anyway, I'm grateful to those who took the time to be part of this. And I didn't even get to, I thought you were saying Sailor Moon, to be quite honest. I keep telling y'all, I can't be reading this chat. And that's what I thought I saw Sailor Moon. I was like, I don't even know what that's about. Now, until I focused on it, I just saw what you said. I am very poor with the chat. I am grateful to those who took the time to be part of this book, and I'm excited to see where it may lead. Now, let's get the conversation started. Okay, so the first chapter is what's going on. Now, I didn't read this. I want to see if we get to the page to questions. Okay, I didn't read that part, so we'll just go to this together. I only read the introduction. I'm gonna be mad if I need the book after this. Okay, so what's going on? The state of Black America. So I don't know why all these people's names are here, but it says Stacey Abrams, political Stacey Abrams, a politician and author. Okay, this is the part. If you are not familiar with these people, let me know. Um, and this Harry Belly, this the next one, Harry Belafonte, right? It's interesting because he's engrossed in this whole Flavor Flav Public Enemy debate. It has something to do with Harry Belafonte. I'm not sure if I wanted to bring that story forward, but because I was a little bit confused reading tweets or whatever it was. I didn't understand who had the issue with the. I didn't understand if they threw Flavor Flav out, if Flavor Flav was endorsing Bernie Sanders, or if Flavor Flav didn't want to endorse Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders misinterpreted Flavor Flav, or that Public Enemy was there and they only see Public Enemy from the aspect of the biggest market selling point for Public Enemy is Flavor Flav. So those of y'all are fucked. Let me just stop. Time out. Let me take a time out. Chuck D and Flavor Flav are the last two standing original members of a group called Public Enemy. Founding members of a group called Public Enemy. And they are having a public debate, which has taken to Twitter and some kind of legal ramifications with Flavor Flav and him hiring counsel to represent his views. So apparently, Public Enemy TV. So it appears to be like there's two different components of Public Enemy. There's Public Enemy, the rap group, and then there's Public Enemy TV, which seems like it's spearheaded by Chuck D, was endorsing Bernie Sanders, uh, limitedly or in some kind of scope, and was going to participate in one of Bernie Sanders' rallies. And at some point, Bernie Sanders' marketing highlighted the fact that Public Enemy was supporting them, and in that they highlighted one of the most infamous members of the group, which is Flavor Flav. So I don't really understand if it was Flavor Flav didn't want that kind of publicity and reached out to um, Bernie Sanders and said, I'm not supporting that. Do not use my image. But then imagery became part of the issues, and that was like some kind of trademark shit, which ultimately resulted in. And shout out to Joy's Chit Chat for bringing this story to me because it was not on my radar. And that's why I enjoyed influencers around here because they influence me to look at shit that I have not really taken an interest in or have any awareness to. So, with that being said, Public Enemy, Chuck D of Public Enemy was mad at Flavor Flav because a couple of years ago they received an award from Harry Belafonte, and Flavor Flav didn't find it necessary to participate. So they've been going back and forth about their branding, basically, and what their brand should represent. And those are issues that you take care of when you're establishing your brand. But apparently, they have two creative differences, and the brand is getting embedded in controversy into political motives and so on and so forth. But not there anyway. This book is references Harry Belafonte, entertainer and activist. Todd Boyd, not familiar with him. Anybody know Todd Boyd? He's an academic and author. So we'll have to check him out because we're a book club. Charlemagne the God. He is radio personality and author. You know, I've met Charlemagne inside of the bookstore, and I did purchase his book, one of them. Did I ever review that book? But I did read the book. Anyway, Laura Coates, Coates, Coate. It's reminding me of this Takashi Coates or whatever. So I guess it's Laura Coates. I don't know her because I don't watch CNN. CNN analyst and radio host. Do y'all know Laura? I don't know her. So this is gonna be interesting. These black folks I don't even know nothing about. Richelieu Dennis, founder and chair of Essence Ventures. Michael Eric Dyson. All right, this is the dude that I cannot read his books. I can't get through any of his books. Even the one he made on Jay-Z makes no sense to me. I can't get into his writing style for me. I can't connect. There's a big disconnect for me. I'm not going to say he doesn't write for Mo. He doesn't write a language I understand. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just his opinions just cloud my whole thought because I don't have the same opinions. Is it the fact based that he may be speaking on factual events that I see differently in terms of the facts? Whatever it is, I can't get into Michael Eric Dyson's writing style. He's an academic and author. Alicia Garza, she's the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. I'm just gonna leave that there. Jamil Hill, journalist and broadcaster, don't know him. Erica Huggins, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know half these people. Activist and educator. Okay, D.L. Hughley. I remember him as a comedian, and he's an author. Derek Johnson, which is the president and CEO of the NAACP. I'm gonna let that just rest right there. Okay, this is killing me. How come I don't know this either? I don't listen to this either. Killer Mike. This is why I can have these conversations because I know nothing about these people. Rapper and activist DeRay McKesson, author and social activist. Mark Morial, president and CEO of the National Urban League. Brittany Packnett, I'm going to say Packnett, vice president of Cheech for America. Al Sharpton, president of the National Action Network. Notice they're not saying nothing else about him but the National Action Network, which incidentally, the headquarters is around the corner from me. Just thought I'd put that out there. And it's always open, but I don't know what they do in there, and it looks really junky. They need a organize. It looks dirty and as fuck in there. It looks like a homeless shelter or some shit. But I guess that's just my opinion. All right, Susan Taylor. I'll take some pictures for y'all though, if y'all want to see it. Susan Taylor, former publisher of Essence and founder of the National Cares mentoring movement. And then this last one just really irks my chest. T.I., rapper and activist. When did he become an activist? Am I missing some shit? Oh, help me. Often, you'll find the music and rhythms of the iconic Marvin Gaye's album, What's Going On, playing throughout my house. It's one of the greatest albums of all time, from the sounds of party banter and the sweet opening notes of Ellie Fontaine's wailing saxophone on the first track. I am transfixed. When Eddie Brown's bongo backbeat drops in, it moves me every single time. Then Marvin Gaye's smooth voice declares, Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. That's just me being funny. Okay, anyway, instantly, I'm transported back to 1971, and Marvin is talking about the state of the nation, pointing out the ills that have kept America from becoming the nation she claims to be. It's the era of the Vietnam War, and the country is in a state of unease. Gaye's own, Gaye's as being Marvin Gaye, own brother had returned from the war a different man. At the time, the nation was plagued by poverty, police brutality, and drug abuse. It's not hard to switch back and forth from the past to the present day. Many of the issues that Marvin Gaye sings about are still with us today. The truth is, ever since Africans were first brought to America in chains, we've asked ourselves, what's going on? We frequently marginalized or left out. We're frequently marginalized or left out of the American narrative because the narrative that America so often weaves is not entirely ours. Take policy, white America's storyline about law enforcement is very different from that of people of color. America has portrayed policy over the years as a heroic, feel good storyline for white America, But the reality is that the story about these supposed heroes and law enforcement looks a lot different for people of color. Rather than solely depending on mainstream media or Hollywood to tell us what's going on, we must rely on each other. Barbershops and beauty shops, diner tables, cookouts, town hall meetings, Black Twitter. These are just some of the places we go to learn what's really going on. This is where we measure ourselves against white America. It is only among ourselves that we can learn about whether we're getting our fair share and strategize about what we need to do on our quest for equality. Since the 1950s, progress on the racial equality front in America has been remarkable and dissatisfying all at once, sometimes moving at warp speed and other times at glacier like pace. Um, we've seen monumental activism, the passage of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Oh, shit. Oh, let me find out. I could click a button and look up words. Oh, stuff. Hey, Song of the South, welcome. We've seen monumental achievements, the passage of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, the landmark federal legislation that prohibits racial discrimination in voting, the launch of Black Entertainment Television in 1980 by businessman Bob Johnson, a peak of 7 African Americans heading Fortune 500 companies in 2007. Today, there are three. So understand that we peaked of 7 African Americans heading Fortune 500 companies in 2007. Today, there are three. The historic election of Barack Obama in 2008, arguably the biggest symbol of America's advancement in the area of racial equality. He uses the word arguably to describe it. Keywords. Um, However, victory was not, as some suggested, a signal of a post racial America. The notion of a colorblind nation is a myth, at best, and likely a foolish and ever dangerous impression to consider. If this country wants to be great, we must continue the ongoing quest for fairness and respect for all of our citizens. A realistic look at certain indicators shows the striking disparity that African Americans and other minorities still face. The tremendous wealth gap between black and whites, for example, has not diminished in decades. In 1962, the average wealth of white households was 7 times greater than that of black households. After decades of declining discrimination, the ratio remains essentially the same. Police brutality and law enforcement inequalities, inequities, inequalities, inequities continue to ravage people of color, but being black can still be seen as criminal and can be as good as a death sentence. We cry out to America to say their names: Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, and yet tragically, there are many, many, many more. The proof that race is still a polarizing force is seen in the growing number of hate crimes and the careless, callous, dog whistling rhetoric of Agent Orange. In August 2017, this vile, oh, I'm sorry, I substituted his name because he's Agent Orange over here. If you don't know, go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for answers. Okay, in August 2017, the veil of collective ignorance was lifted when a viral video showed torch carrying hate mongers in Charlottesville, Virginia, spewing adherent abhorrent rhetoric and creating chaos that would lead to the death of a counter protester. I'm gonna let y'all have that one. I see that whole protest stuff for that event. Uh, no one should have died, but you know, I think that's the one with the car incident where the car ran over somebody. But anyway, many ultra conversation. I hate all of these hyphens. Com ultra conservatives fringe surprise at the levels of hate. The president, Agent Orange, attempted to minimize the vitriol of August 12th. Yet, just 3 days later, Agent Orange would say, "You also have very fine people on both sides." Yeah, this is that one. This is that incident. However, Americans spin the national narrative. Race is still a polarizing force, and the state of Black America, at least in some quarters, is precarious. Over the years, I have debated the direction of Black America with friends and foes. Oh, I never look at the word foe so badly because you just know, like I'm all into a foe, right? So that's just crazy. It just hit me. It's like friends and foes. Are we making progress? Do we have a plan to bring equality to all? Are we able to work together as a community? As a journalist, I have moderated or have been a member of the panels that have earnestly conveyed to map out ways to better allow of color, people of color. See, I know they don't just say blacks, people of color to fully participate in the promise of America. So remember, promise, the promise of America. We looked up promise, and promise is an assurance that one will do a particular thing or that a particular thing will happen. So, promise of America. Was it really promised to us? Anyway, unfortunately, too often these gatherings produce too few answers. The lingering unanswered question is, what is the state of Black America? That seemed to be a fitting place to start our conversation. So here it goes. What's the state of Black America today? Michael Eric Dyson. Here we go. It's the best of times. It's the worst of times. It's the best of times because we've had an exponential increase in the Black middle class upward social mobility in comparison to the Jim Crow post segregation culture in America. There's been an extraordinary opening of educational opportunities to Black people. On the other hand, there are indicators that a large part of Black America is suffering greatly. When you think about the deliberate attempts to control the housing of Black people, that reinforces persistent and troubling rates of Black poverty. Todd Boyd. Next person up. Hey, Nas. How are you? Anyway, it's hard to describe. So he was asked the same question. So these are people responding. This is people responding to the question. What's the state of Black America today? Can I? Where is this the one? We all right. So let's just do. I ain't got time for this shit. Apostrophe S. Fuck. State of Black America today. I can't type on my keyboard at home because at work I have that other damn keyboard, the curved one. And when I got back to home, I can't do it. All right. So, okay. I encourage you to spread the news about Monica's lives and give her more views. Yeah, why don't we just send it to the Twitter? Y'all don't know. I went and refound my Twitter, which is Parent Voice. My Twitter is old as fuck. I had it since some kind in 2009 or something. I developed that Twitter. Because I was a parent voice in this world. I'm trying to figure out how I could change it to say Monica Mo Justice, but whatever. So I do have a thing. It doesn't have my picture on it. It has a tree, some kind of fucking tree. I don't know. But yeah, I'm getting on this. We about to go share things. Thank you, Song of the South. But right now, we're doing what we do. This is a book that we are reading. And we're in the portion where the people are answering this question. So I put the question on the screen so everybody will know what the conversation is talking, what they're responding to. Okay. Please hold a second. Let me just take care of Nugs. Don't go running under tables and shit. You gonna get ready now? Okay. Just give me like a 5 minute warning. Almost already. So I can shut down the live, okay? Because I'm ready whenever you are. Okay, so here we go. So here we go. I got time. Okay, so Todd Boyd, who I said I don't know, said it's hard to describe Black America as one thing. There are things going on with young Black people that may be different than for older Black people. Astute observation. There may be things going on with the Black women that are exclusive to women. The Black community has never been one thing, it's never been monolithic, even though a lot of people like to think of it that way. So it's broad and diverse depending on what you're talking about. Hmm. These people got subtle answers that say nothing. My opinion. T.I., what's the state of Black America? I think we've been distracted. This is Ti speaking. I think people are kind of submerging themselves in entertainment. Yeah, I'm doing the Ti whole interview shit. They're submerging themselves in entertainment and other things that are going on around them. We aren't necessarily speaking to the needs of the community, the things that need to be done to advance us, the things that deserve attention, the actions that need to be taken aren't being addressed. The sacrifices that need to be made aren't being made. I believe like Black America is distracted. This shit sounds just like T.I. I'm sorry. And therefore, we're stagnant to a certain degree. DeRay McKeeson In so many ways, we have changed the conversation about race and justice in this country in ways that are really powerful. People are talking about injustice, talking about the disparity in ways we have, talking about disparity in ways we have never done in public. Unfortunately, the outcomes have not changed all that much. We're in this interesting moment where the conversation has changed, and people think because the conversation has changed, the outcomes must have changed, and they haven't. We're in a pivot, pivotal, pivotal moment to see if we can change both. Otherwise, we still reflect on this and say, wow, we changed the conversation, but the things we really cared about didn't actually change that much. Police have actually killed more people since 2014. Don't tell me about that number. Not less, but that is not what people believe. People think because we've seen a million videos, it's better. The awareness is at an all time high, but the outcomes are actually just sad. They are worse than they were when the protests began. This is actually true of education and incarceration. The conversation is really growing, but the outcome is not moving at that pace. Alicia Garza, I would say it's getting more and more complex and could certainly use an update in terms of Black America's political orientation to make sure that all of the components of our communities are powerful. Black America is changing. Unfortunately, our politics are not changing to trend to ten, are not changing in tandem with our demographics. We've seen an increase in immigration from African countries over the last decade, but we still talk about Black communities as Black folks who are born in the U.S. Pause, pause. Who am I supposed to be focused on in these conversations if I was born here and I live in this depressed state? Am I supposed to be focused on the newcomers? Help me understand. Alicia, we have seen an increase in immigration from African countries over the last decade, but we still talk about Black communities as Black folks who are born in the US. It is us they are fucking killing, the Black folks born in the US. Most of y'all, with all due respect, that come from the other place, y'all have some kind of conformity that we don't subscribe to. And I'm sorry that you don't see it. And some of you that come from the other African places love the clear people and believe that you should be in harmony with them. And as a result of that, we have Bokeem, what was his name? Fuck. We have the incident with Amber Geiger as a prime example of why there's a disparity in the Black thought, the Black consciousness, as I could best describe it at this point in time, because the Black communities and the Black folks who are born here in the U.S. know we would not have been practicing forgiveness to that degree at that time. And I am sorry that they don't understand it. But you also, we're dealing with a different type of clear people scenario than what we're dealing with. Because they believe in the inequality of you where you come from. Or do they? Because I do remember apartheid and understanding that it had something to do with, forgive me, I'm not a history major, but I do recall that Stephen Biko and others were killed by the white man who came into South Africa and tried to take over those fucking diamonds and had y'all in some real kind of poverty in your own place. Had a man incarcerated for 20 years, 2 decades, let him free, let him become your president, and you still got nowhere. So maybe I misinterpret history, because I took it from a different I got it from a different history book, the one created here in, in Queens. Maybe I missed that. So let's see. Local and national news help the police to cover up when they cover killings. All right. Astute observation from my friend Wow Boy. Um, let's try to stick within the confines of what they have said here and not go to the extremities as of yet. Let's try to stay focused on what they talked about. Let's not get radical on Alicia Garza, because what Alicia Garza is talking about has to do with African countries, has to do with, we've seen an increase in immigration from African countries over the last decade, but we still talk about Black communities as Black folks who are born in the US. We have seen an increased level of visibility of Black people who identify as lesbian or gay or bisexual or transgender. I never finished it, so I could see where you went on with the killings, but I knew she had more on. And my apologies. I'm gonna stop commenting until I get to the end of their complete sentence and then their complete thought, and then I'll come up. Monica, you fine as hell, and I'm not trolling. Um, hey, Alethea, because I don't want to miss Alethea this morning. Good morning, Alethea. Have a blessed day. I love you to pieces. I love me some Alethea. Um, Cause somebody text me, is this the pastor that wanted to have sex with me or whatever? Is that who that is? Sorry if it's not you. We did have a pastor come through here that wanted to have sex with me. I can't remember because I'm such a heathen. I can't remember which one it was, but I just but I appreciate the compliment and I take them as they come. I'm not gonna begrudge someone from a compliment. And I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, y'all remember when the pastor came through here and was like, come over there. And then everybody's like, he's the nasty pastor that did all the other nasty shit. And I was like, oh, MATC, I'm trying to not be a sailor, but I can't help it. Okay, Todd Boyd. When I was no, the person knows who I'm talking to. They'll let me know if that. I said they could send me a text message. When I was Todd Boyd, in answer to the questions, what's the state of Black America today? Todd Boyd said, when I was growing up, most Black people were descendants of slaves. Amen. Let the church sing. Let me just repeat what he just said. When I was growing up, most Black people were descendants of slaves, and that was their experience. We've since had a lot of immigrants from Africa, from the Caribbean. Biracial people have grown in numbers and how they identify. The Black community now looks very different than how it was back in the 70s. It's necessary to think about what it means to be a Black person now. We can't just assume that what it meant 30 or 40 or 50 years ago is the same as what it means today, because then we're not accounting for all the change. Okay, according to the Pew Research Center, the Pew Research Center. All right, I gotta stop there. Stopping, pausing. I can understand the reflection, because the reflection brings us to a point where we reflect on what it was in his words 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and we reflect on it and define who we are today. But never forget where you came from. Once you lose your history and you lose your story and you lose your value, your value begins from your origin. So that is as much a part of who your being is. That's why, for me, being a woman is extremely valuable to me. It is one of my best marketing tools that I have, is that I'm a woman and then I happen to be a woman of color. Is it is it goes hand in hand, but I understand who I am from both aspects. And I've never been confused. I've never eaten something that has put me on a mission where I am confused about my sexuality, and need to make an adjustment. Today, people are reflecting on their lifestyles, and they're living through something, an imbalance that has them trying to find out who they are. So before they can even identify with their blackness or their colorism uh, role, they are first trying to identify what 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 their what their baseline is, what sex they are. So if you have that much confusion and needing the definition going on, you can't even begin to have the broader conversation. Um, so it's interesting. He segues from the woman's point of view, that we have people of color, black people, in more numbers being lesbian and gay. And then this dude follows in, or follows, is presented next with his statements. So according to the Pew Research Center's analysis of U.S. Census, the U.S. Census, again, some shit that we need to participate in. The number of black immigrants living in the United States rose from 816,000 in 1980 to 4.2 million in 2016. Now, how do you manage to make a comparison between 1980 and 2016? So are you trying to make it clear that the number for 2020 should exceed 4.2 million? Should be higher than that in our immigration category, or in the black immigrants category? The Pew Center also suggests that the mixed race population is growing 3 times faster than the U.S. population as a whole. The U.S. Census Bureau predicts that by 2060, yeah, 60, I won't be here, so I won't be able to verify this. The number of multiracial Americans will be 3 times larger than it is now. Okay, moving on to the next person. Erica Huggins. I agree. We discussed Black America. We're thinking in the monolithic way. We need to look, what the fuck? Everybody wants to think about this word. Oh, now that I want to click on the fucking word, I thought it was letting me look at words. Ah, fuck it. We'll look at it later. They just using this word all over the word. The word today, monolithic. Okay, anyway. We're thinking that there's one Black America, and there's not. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Um, what say you on this? Do you believe that there's more than one Black America? Ooh, let me in on your thoughts about that. Um, the state of people of color in the United States is in a similar place as it was in the 60s, in a similar place as it was in the 40s. It's structural, it's institutional. If these institutions are and structures change, then the state of Black America would shift. Right now, Miss G, I'm looking at 93 because I know my dad made it to 93. You know, we're considering 94, but he made it to 93. So I'm safe with 93. The diversity of the community adds another level of uh, complication to the Black equation. So I think we're finished with these interviews and we're into his book again. Many of the subgroups that fall under the umbrella of Black don't always share the same issues. At times, they even conflict. That makes foregoing a harmonious ideology more difficult. The growing LGBTQ community of color, for instance, is at times demonized by those who adhere to the traditional religious leanings of many African American families. Immigrant people of color are often still ostracized by Blacks born in America. Conversely, some immigrants identify themselves not as Black, but by their place of origin. Um, for example, Jamaican or African. I agree. I agree. I've spoken to many people that will say I'm Jamaican before they say, and I told you that I think that's how it was identified as I was growing up. But understood that you was Black. I never knew that Black just has its own Black until years to come thereafter. I thought everybody had something that they belonged to. This presents a growing, and that is how I grew up. So those that disagree with it, fine, I can live with that. But I'm just telling you how I grew up. This presents a growing complication and complexity in defining what it means to be Black in America. However, no matter what the class or the country of origin of Black Americans or the status of their entry into the country as slaves or as free people, the inequalities. I don't know why I always say this fucking word with a qual when it's equities. The inequities still apply to all of us. Now that we have greater access to education, some believe that things will shift if we were able to also achieve financial success, but they haven't. One of the largest differences we have seen since the civil rights advancements of the 1960s is the great economic bifurcation. Bifurcation means breaking down of Black America. Wow. And when you bifurcate something, you kind of break it down into smaller groups. Um, while these advancements have enabled some Blacks to improve their financial status, there is still a large economic underclass that has never escaped poverty. Perhaps the biggest hurdle for our community, the greatest obstacle is achieving equality, is closing this wealth gap. a division that has caused classism to grow within the race? I'm going to leave it with that question. And I will change my title to say today to say, what is the state of Black America today? And I'm gonna download the book. I'm not gonna buy the book. I'm gonna download the book on the app in its entirety. See if I could read from here. Um, and this is where our discussions are going to go for the remainder of the month. If you don't appreciate it, I understand. I'll see you on the next when I go into crazy category. I'll let y'all know this is I return to the old stuff. But this is the direction I'm going in now. If you want to ride, I appreciate it. Um, we are dealing with conversations in Black, and we're going to take their talking points and discuss them day in, day out until we are sick with it. If you want to join me in reading the book, feel free to download, go to the store, or listen to a copy of Conversations in Black. Otherwise, that's where we're going from here. Um, any questions, concerns, or comments? I don't want to enter into a whole new question. I wanted to end with that. I wanted to resonate. In the comments today, I'd appreciate if you really dig inside, as the course of the day develops and you reflect on your conversation with Mo this morning. What is the state of Black America in your view? Join me in the comments below and let's have an open dialogue about that. Don't let all these folks dictate to us what things are going to be. Or how you should be seeing things or how you should be feeling about things. Anyway, this is Mo, and I've got to go. I don't know if I'll be back tonight. I think I just need I'm still adjusting to some things. But I will be here in the morning and take this up in the morning with the next question. Anyway, this is Mo, and I've got to go. Thank you to MATC, Miss G, Eva May, Diane, Sweet Dreams. Oh, fuck, I don't never know. Alethea, because I don't know what her name is. You know, Pastor Homeboy who stepped over up in here. Song of the South. Thank you, Song of the South, for actually promoting and fostering my growth. I appreciate it. Honey Lot, y'all done chased out the sister person, Darian, for dropping in. Darren, I don't know why I call him Darian, but Darren, because that Marion thing at the end always gets me every time. Um, Shout out to the people that will watch me in replay. You know who you are. Bad and bougie. You know some folks that I ain't see this morning. Shout out to my king of fur. I'm sure you're watching me in replay. And of course, Honey Lot. Did I miss anybody else? Oh, then I'll get Miss Coleman who will send me something and say, I missed you. Shout out. Special shout out. Big shout out to number one, we got to go back into the influence now. A day one influencer, Lisa Marie, and Rob. I miss you, Rob, but Lisa's, in school and she's doing the hard shit of school day to day and working and getting that up and popping. So I'm not even mad at her. Boogie, I know you came through. I don't know who I missed. Sam Francis, hope everything's okay with you. Those are just my regulars. So I don't want you to think. Now, if I missed another regular, sorry. Sorry, Nara, didn't mean to miss you. Shit happens. Come through, and I wouldn't have missed you. No, no, I'm just playing. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day.